Raju Law, we don't just provide legal services, we provide a pathway to your American dream. With offices in New York, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Dhaka, and Dubai, our global team is dedicated to delivering personalized immigration solutions. Whether you are pursuing a green card or navigating complex immigration processes, we are here to guide you at every step. With a team of 10 associate attorneys and more than 180 law clerks and case managers, we craft solutions tailored to your unique needs. Our technology-driven platform ensures the fastest, most efficient service, saving your time while upholding the highest standards of quality. At Raju Law, we believe in affordable, transparent pricing without compromising on service excellence. Raju Law, where your American dream meets expert legal support. Contact us today.
Hello and welcome everyone. I am Sudikshya Bohora and I am absolutely delighted to have you with us for another episode of Immigration for All, brought to you by Nora Global and powered by Kulna Tech. If you have been tuning in, you know that we recently rebranded our Monday Life series to Immigration for All, a name that reflects our mission perfectly to make immigration knowledge clear, accessible, and practical for everyone, no matter where you are in your journey. And here's some exciting news, guys. Our show is now officially available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So whether you are commuting, working out, or just winding down at home, you can now catch all our episodes anytime and anywhere. In today's episode, we are focusing on a topic that's especially important for entrepreneurs, investors, and professionals looking to establish a presence in the United States through businesses. The United States E2 visa from Dubai. The E2 visa allows individuals from the treaty countries to invest in and operate a business in the United States, an attractive pathway for many based in the UAE who are exploring business immigration options. Now, without further delay, let's welcome our special guest, Mr. Raju Mahajan, Principal Attorney of Raju Law. Mr. Mahajan brings years of expertise in business and immigration law and has guided numerous clients through successful E2 visa filings, particularly from the Dubai and the broader Middle East.
Hi, Sudikshya. How are you?
Hello, sir. I'm fine. Hello. How are you?
I'm good. Good. Thank you very much for inviting me this morning. And I, welcome all of our audiences to this show. And those who are not watching right now, those who will listen to through Apple Podcast or Spotify, I welcome all of them.
Thank you so much for being here today, Mr. Mahajan. The floor is yours. Now, please take us through today's topic.
Thank you very much. Let me go to the slide. Yeah, it's here. So, all right. Hello, everyone. So E2 visa is for all over the world, of course. There's a list of the countries. It's called treaty countries. Those who have, treaty agreement with United States, they can apply for E2 visa. However, today we are going to focus on Dubai because we have office in Dubai, and Dubai is also a global hub for entrepreneurs. Our Dubai office is in DMCC area, JLT area. JLT area, especially DMCC, is very heavily focused on tech entrepreneurs. That is our main purpose of taking our office in JLT area, DMCC area. So that's why we're our focus today would be E2 visa for entrepreneurs who already have presence in Dubai. They can be from anywhere in the world. And then if they want to move to America under E2 visa, or sometimes some folks in Dubai, when I visited Dubai last time, I talked to some entrepreneurs. Sometimes they really don't want to stay in America. They like Dubai, they want to stay there, but they want to open branch of their business, which is very easy to do from anywhere in the world, including Dubai. And then they want a more of a permanent kind of visa, because a regular B1, B2 is very fragile. As you cannot stay here for more than 6 months, and you need to renew it. Sometimes U.S. government may not renew your B2 visa. And the worst part is sometimes it takes years just to get an appointment for B1, B2 visa. On the other hand, E2 visa is more business friendly. You can conduct your business here in America. You can come and go anytime. The renewal rate is very high. and also it's very easy to get appointment for E2 visa renewal or any kind of application for under E2. That's why our main focus today is E2, especially from Dubai. So before I go to actual E2 visa application, let me give you some facts, and these are very important facts. In general, from all over the world, approval rate for E2 visa is above 90%. This is a huge approval percentage. And the reason is, America is like the haven for businesses. They want foreign investors, foreign entrepreneurs to come to America, invest in America, and contribute in American economy. That's why if you can apply properly, you have above 90% chance of approval under E2, which is a great number. Of course, just because 90% approval rate doesn't mean that your application will be approved automatically. You have to apply with appropriate documents, information, and other thing, but the approval rate is above 90%, which is great. Also, it's comparatively easy to apply for E2 visa. It takes around 2 to 3 months to get ready for all the documentation and other thing, compared to like other kind of visa that takes years and years of preparation. So it only takes 2 to 3 months to apply. Once you apply, there are also a fast track approval procedure. Especially there is a premium process under which you can apply for E2 and you can get approval very faster. Also, there is no limit of renewal. You can renew unlimited numbers of renewals. So basically, the thing is, you will have a business in America, you can make money. Also, you can come and go anytime. So this is a huge opportunity for foreign entrepreneurs to apply for E2 visa here in America and then get all the benefit associated with that. I must remind you here that E2 is not an immigrant visa, meaning you are not going to get green card under E2. E2 is a non-immigrant visa, which is very similar like a student visa. The only difference is under a student visa, you have to study. And in E2, you have to conduct a business. You have to run a business. If you close your business, your E2 visa will not be renewed. So that's another important thing. However, even though E2 is not going to give you green card, your other options to get green card will remain open. So let's say you move to America with a E2 visa and then you apply under EB5 or NIW or regular EB2, EB1 or any other kind of green card application. That will remain as an option, but E2 will not automatically take you there. You have to go there by yourself. So that's just a disclaimer so that you do not misunderstand opportunity for E2. All right. So before going to discuss about E2, here are some facts. And these are like really, really important facts. This is the change in number of E2 approvals between 2022 and 2023. You see, Chile, it has 474% number of approvals. So increased. Chile had almost 4 times more approval in between 2022 and 2023, which is a huge. Similarly, Colombia is another very high approval country. Turkey, very high approval country. South Korea. I was surprised to see how many South Koreans want to apply for E2 and come to America. South Korea. Italy is another very high approval. Canada, of course, Venezuela, Australia, Mexico, Germany, Taiwan, Japan, and then also some other countries you see is negative. Negative doesn't mean that they don't have approval. They still have approval, but their approval was less than before, and which probably a lot of Argentinian people, Granada people, Spanish people, they're already in America, so there's like a less approval, less number of applications and less approvals. So the reason I'm showing you this fact is a lot of people from South America, a lot of people from Europe, there are a lot of European people, they come to America under E2 visa, they do their business because America is a haven for businesses. I say that to multiple places. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are a business person, America is the number one country. I know that for some other indicators like health insurance and other thing, there are some other better countries. America is not the best in health insurance and other thing, education. But for entrepreneurs, this is the haven. Let me go to another fact. So E2 visa rejection rate by fiscal year. So now I'm going to show you the rejection rate. In 2023, only 9.3% application was rejected. That's why it's above 90% approval rate. 2022, 9.5% rejection. 2021, 7.5% rejection. So you see that the rejection rate is very low. However, I must remind you here that these data will show for those applications who meet all the requirements and then they get rejected. It doesn't mean that you can just fill up the form, submit to USCIS, and USCIS will going to approve it. That's not going to happen. You have to get ready. You have to submit a complete application, and only then you have 2023 there's like a 9.3% rejection rate. So the thing is, you have to submit a complete application, and then you have above 90% approval rate. All right, so there are two major steps for E2 visa application, and even though it sounds very easy, it's so easy, let me do that, it's not that easy. You have to remember that, especially the first part, business setup part, is a little tricky. A lot of people, they cannot do that. So that's why I do this kind of E2 visa videos more and more and more, so that people understand there is a significant amount of work even before you apply for E2. A lot of people, they don't understand this thing. So I request you to pay special attention. Even before you apply for E2, there are some special requirements, which is business setup. Once you are done with this thing, then you go for actual E2 visa application. And we from our firm, in the first step, E2 visa setup part, we cannot directly do that many things. But what we do, once you sign retainer with us, make your first payment, we guide you. For the first part, we give you a guideline. We'll be actively involved with you. We'll guide you for the first part. And once the first part is done, then we'll go to the second part, which is actual our work, and then we'll definitely do that for you. But in the first part, we'll be actively involved with you. The first thing is business setup. So first, you have to register a business here in America. That can be LLC, that can be C Corp. It depends on your business, depends on the partnership, depends on many things. But and I advise you to talk to a CPA or other person in this thing. We can also help you, but they will be better equipped to help you. So business registration, you have to register a business. When you go for business registration, they will ask for a resident agent. So if you already have a visit visa like B1, B2, you can be your resident agent for the business. But if you do not have a visit visa, you are not here. In that case, you have to hire a resident agent. So resident agent can be a person, also can be a business. There are some business, they act as a resident agent and they take some money for that service. Either way, it can be a person or a business. I personally recommend my clients to have a resident agent who is their relative or friend, so that they have direct contact, even in a weekend or night or sometime, who will act on behalf of them. And the job of a resident agent is not that hard. It's comparatively easy, but you have to have a resident agent. Once your business registration is done, once you have a resident agent, the next step is opening a bank account. So in general, you need two bank accounts. You need a business bank account and a personal bank account. So one bank account would be under your business name, another bank account would be under your name. And the good thing is there are a lot of online banks, there's one called Wise, another one is called Marcus by Goldman Sachs, and there are some other online banks. It is okay, but if you can open a bank account in a more formal traditional banks like Bank of America, Chase Bank, TD Bank, that's better, because it's not only just quantity, it's also matter. Quality is also matter. So if you have a bank account in Chase, that will give you better chance of approval compared to a Wise or Marcus. But let's say you cannot open a bank account with Chase, that's okay. If you have a bank account with Wise or Marcus, that's also okay. And that's like a bare minimum requirement. So once you have the bank account, you have to transfer money. And this is the trickiest part for E2 visa application, transferring money. Money must come to America with a legal source and legal channel. Please remember this term. Money must come to America with a legal channel and legal source. And legal channel will be a banking channel, from one bank to another bank. So from Dubai, it's comparatively very easy to transfer money from Dubai bank to American bank. It's very easy. But if you are from a country where there is no direct transfer system, it will be a little harder, but it's possible. And the source of the money must be legal. So let's say you're transferring money from Dubai to America, and the money is from your legitimate business, that's great. Or your personal, or if you sell your personal property or something, that's also great. But if you cannot show the source of the money, that would be kind of bad for your application. And so what we do from our firm, so when we submit E2 visa application, it is not mandatory to submit the source, the source of the money, the channel of the money. It's not mandatory to explain it, but we from our law firm, we try to do it because it shows that your money is clean. That will increase your chance of approval. So we from our law firm, we really care about, like, success rate, your success rate. So even though some documents are not mandatory, but it's recommended, and we highly recommend you to submit that document just to avoid any kind of RFE or any kind of additional work. So we from our law firm will highly recommend you to submit the source of the money, like the document that will show that the money is from a legitimate source, and also show the channel of the money. Like, let's say there's a bank in Dubai. It's called, let's say, ABC Bank. You are transferring, like a wire transferring money from ABC Bank to Dubai, from Dubai to America. Let's say Wise in America or Bank of America in America will show the copy of this wire transfer, so that USS officers will be assured that there's a legal channel and legal source of money. But please remember, this transfer of money is the number one important part for E2 application. However, if you cannot bring money from foreign country, that's okay. If you have friends and family here in America, if they want to gift you, that's also okay. So if you take money as a gift, in that case, the people who are sending you the gift, giving you the money, they must show the source of the income. Like, it must, as I said, it must be a legal source, like a clean source money. So let's say the person is, have a good job or big business or property, and they're giving money from that source, that's also okay. But if the person doesn't have any money, where the person get the money to gift you, right? So that will raise some question. And also the money must be transferred via bank, like a wire transfer or some other kind of transfer, or check. No cash transaction. Cash transaction will create some confusion, question, and probably you'll get RFE. So that may reduce your chance of approval. So please remember this term: legal channel, legal source. Very important. No matter you bring money from foreign country or get gift from America, either way, these two things are very important. And the next thing is initial activity. What you have to do before you submit for E2 visa application, you have to show that your money is in risk. So please also remember this term: your money is in risk, meaning you are taking some activity. Of course, you do not have to start the business everything from day one. Let's say you found a commercial space, you talked to the landlord, you signed a contract with the landlord. Also, you build a website, you hired a interior design person to decorate your physical location. You did some customer survey, client survey, who are going to be your customer, how much the money they are going to pay you, what would be the business profile. So business profile will also help you develop the business profile. So before you apply for E2 visa application, you must know all these basic things of a business, because at the visa interview they may ask you a question about this business. So you better be prepared for that. So once this initial activity is done, then we submit E2 visa application, E2 visa application, and then we go for the next round. So here in America, you can do in two different ways. One is you can apply for change of status. It's called, in short, I mentioned COA. So let's say you came to America with a B1, B2 visa or F1 visa. You can apply for change of status here in America, or you can apply from your home country. Then you have to apply for visa interview in your home country. But as I said earlier, it's very easy to get an appointment under E2 visa, and then the officer will take your interview. They will probably approve your visa. Then you come to America with E2 visa. Just to remind you here that in E2 visa, your spouse, and any children under the age of 21, you'll be eligible for visa. You'll be main E2 applicant, and your family members will be dependent. You as a E2 visa applicant, you will not have any other work authorization. Your main job would be to run this business. However, your family members who are 16 or above, they will have work permit to work outside of your business. They can get job with other businesses too. So that's my short presentation about E2 visa from Dubai. Going back to Sudikshya.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mahajan, for such a comprehensive and insightful presentation. You have broken down a very complex process into a very clear and actionable steps, and I'm sure that our audience is walking away with a much better information. So before we open the floor for our live audience question and answer session, we'll take a very short break. So stay right there. We'll be right in just over a minute.
Are you a leader in your field, an innovator, artist, scientist, or entrepreneur? You may qualify for the prestigious EB-1A Extraordinary Ability Visa, your fast track to a U.S. green card with no job offer required. At Raju Law's Dhaka office, we specialize in building powerful EB-1A petitions tailored to your achievements. With expert attorneys, global experience, and a tech-powered process, we bring U.S. immigration success to your doorstep. Your extraordinary talent deserves an extraordinary path. Let Rajula Dhaka open the door to your American dream. Book your consultation today.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for our question and answer segment. We have gathered some fantastic questions from our audience, including those submitted during the live stream. And these questions reflect the real life concerns from individuals currently navigating or considering the EV2 visa pathway. And we are eager to hear from Mr. Mahajan and his thoughts on them. So, the very first question is, if my H-1B petition gets approved and after approval my employer wants to change my job title, will this affect my H-1B status?
It may, it may. So please remember that for any kind of employment-based application, your job title, your job description, your job location, those are very integral part of the application. So if any of these very important element get changes, especially like the level of the work, let's say you were hired as an assistant manager and then you got promoted into manager, and if your employer wants to change it, yes, they need to amend the application, which is not very hard, but it's possible. But also, but they need to amend the petition to show to reflect the change in your job.
Okay, so the next question is, I'm currently in the United States on an H-1B visa. Can I switch employers without losing my status?
Yes, switching your job is comparatively easy under H-1B, but please remember that switching a job, meaning your new employer must submit a petition, which is very similar like the original H-1B petition, like a form I-120, I-29, 129. So it's very similar process, but they need to submit a transfer application. But please remember that your job title and your field must match with your old one, meaning you are kind of moving from one job to the other job, but the both jobs are very similar in nature. If there's a significant difference between these two jobs, then you cannot transfer from one H1B petition to another one. It must be within the same field and same level of work.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, I received my salary in the cryptocurrency from my employer, but I did not report it on my taxes. Will this affect my H-1B status or future extension?
It may. Crypto is not a legal mode of currency here in America. I mean, for the purpose of investment, yes, some private companies, they may accept it as a mode of currency, but it's not a legal currency at this moment. You cannot receive salary. I mean, you may receive salary as a crypto, but you cannot show that in tax file and other thing. So I would highly recommend you not to accept salary in the form of crypto, especially those who are in H-1B or any kind of visa program. You may take bonus, because bonus is not part of the calculation. You may take bonus in the form of a crypto, but please do not accept crypto in the form of salary.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, I lost my job while on an H-1B visa, and I haven't found a new employer yet. What happens to my H-1B status?
If you cannot find a job within 60 days, which is a grace period, then you're going to lose your H-1B. So this is a very hard thing. Many people, they suffer this kind of situation, especially in recent days where a lot of IT jobs, they're getting laid off. So if you cannot find a job within 60 days, you're going to lose your H-1B. To avoid this kind of situation, a lot of people on the top of their regular H-1B job, they have a additional job, which is called concurrent H-1B. Either you find a company who will employ you as an additional part-time job, as a concurrent H-1B job. In that case, if you cannot find another full-time job, you can convert your concurrent H-1B part-time job as your full-time job under H-1B. Also, some people, what they do, they open their own business. So you as an individual, even though you are in H-1B visa, you can open your own LLC, own business here in America, and you will keep it as your part-time job, and you can also show that as your concurrent H-1B. And then in case if you cannot find a full-time job, you will show your H-1B job as your full-time job, and you can transfer that H-1B from previous company to your own company. However, the company you are working, that the job you are working must be same or similar within the with the previous job. So when you start your own LLC, please make sure that your actual field of work in H-1B and your LLC are in the same field. Let me give you an example. So let's say you are a IT professional working for a IT company, let's say as a software developer, and on the side of that you opened a restaurant. So if, in case if you lose your IT job, you cannot transfer your H-1B to a restaurant, right? Because it's not a same field, similar field. So if you have a plan to transfer your H-1B to your own company, you must start your own company in the field of software industry so that you can transfer your H-1B from other company to your own company. So those are the things, but it comes with some limitations.
Okay. Thank you so much. So here are some questions that are also related to H4. My H4 visa is expiring soon and I need to extend it. However, my spouse H1B extension is pending. Can I still apply for an extension?
Yeah, so what I advise in this situation, once when your spouse's H-1B application is pending, I would apply for H-4 extension at the same time. That will help you get approval faster because USCIS officer, they will handle everything together. It's easy for them to, they get everything in one package, so it's easy for them. However, while your spouse's H-1B application renewal is pending, you still apply for H-4 renewal. It will go as a separate package, and it's not that hard, but sometimes USCIS officers, they are human. Sometimes they lost track of those things, but it's possible, yes.
Okay, thank you. Next question is, if I want to apply for a job while on an H4 visa, can I do so without an EAD?
So EAD, no, without EAD, excuse me, without EAD, you cannot apply for any job. EAD means work authorization. You have work authorization here in America. Without work authorization, you cannot apply for a job. And also, please remember that not all H-4 comes with a work authorization. Only two scenarios will give you work authorization while you are in H-4. One is if your spouse has a approved I-140, that will give you work permit as a H-4 dependent. Also, if your spouse's H-1B went beyond 6 years, and now he is under AC-21, American competitiveness in the age of 21st century. If he or she is in AC-21, then you get work permit as a H-4 dependent. Other than these two scenarios, you do not get EAD and you cannot apply for job.
Okay, thank you. Next question is, while on H4 status, when does an H4 visa holder become eligible to apply for an EAD and how can they apply?
Yeah, I just explained the two scenario. If you meet either of these two scenarios, then you can apply for EAD, and it's very easy to apply for EAD. The name of the form is I-765. You fill it up, you submit it to USCIS, and they will, adjudicate the merit of the application, and then they will approve it. It's comparatively very easy to apply.
Okay, so this is the second last question. It goes like, my H4 visa is expiring soon and I want to leave the United States to visit family in my home country. Will leaving affect my visa status?
In general, it does not, because if your spouse has a valid H-1B, you can always apply for H-4. You can renew it. It's not hard, but at this moment, it's very tricky. USCIS officers, embassy officers, airport officers, they're acting sometimes crazy. So yes, this time it may impact a little bit, but in general, it should not.
Okay, so this is the very last question for our today's live, and it is, I'm on an H4 child visa. Sorry, I'm on an H4 child visa and I recently got married to a US citizen. How does my visa status change?
Yeah, so if you are married to a US citizen, you have to apply for a marriage-based green card application. Especially if you marry a U.S. citizen, there are two parts of a marriage-based application. One is called I-130, one is I-485. You can apply for both together. As soon as you submit your I-485 to USCIS, you do not need to stay under H4, but you can keep it until your green card is approved. It's a comparatively easy process. Meaning, what you have to do is you have to apply for marriage-based green card. Once it is approved, you'll get green card, and then you do not need to continue your H4.
Okay, thank you so much. And that brings us to the end of our question and answer session. I hope that our audience got a clear understanding of everything. And a special thanks to Mr. Mahajan. Thank you once again for your time, your expertise, and for guiding our listeners through this important topic with such a clarity and depth.
Thank you very much, Sudikshya, for inviting me. Thank you all of our audiences. I'll see you next time.
Thank you, sir. So, to our amazing audience, thank you for being here with us today. We hope that this episode has equipped you with a clear understanding of the E2 visa process, especially from Dubai. And whether you are an entrepreneur with a vision or a seasoned investor looking to expand into a US market, remember, preparation and expert guidance are the key. Immigration for All goes live every Monday, 11 a.m. EST, 9 p.m. Bangladesh time, and 8:45 p.m. Nepal Standard Time. So mark your calendars and don't miss out. That's it for today's episode. As always, we'll close with a few of the latest immigration news updates. So stay with us a moment longer. Until next time, take care, and we'll see you next week on Immigration for All.
Welcome to the latest episode of Weekly Immigration News by Raju Law. This week, we brought to you 4 latest developments in the immigration arena. Let's start with the headlines. USCIS updates medical exam policy. US resumes student visa interviews. Trump opens waitlist for $5 million investor visa. Trump orders ICE to boost deportations in Democrat-led cities. Let's get into details. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services has updated its policy for Form I-693, the medical exam required for many immigration applications. Going forward, Form I-693 will generally be valid only for the applicants it was submitted with and can't be reused for future applications. This change applies to all applications submitted or pending of June 11, 2025. Moving on, the U.S. State Department has resumed F, M, and J visa interviews with a major new rule. Applicants must make their social media accounts public. Consular officers will now thoroughly vet online activity for signs of hostility towards the U.S. culture, government, or values. Refusing access may be seen as an attempt to hide something. Next up, the U.S. new $5 million residency visa called the Trump Card has attracted nearly 70,000 applicants, U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has said. Designed to replace the EB-5 visa, the scheme aims to raise $1 trillion and targets global business leaders seeking legal U.S. residency. Visitors to the newly launched website trumpcard.gov can now register their name, region, email, and whether they are applying as an individual or business. Finally, President Trump has ordered ICE to expand deportations in Democratic-led cities, calling it the largest mass deportation program in history, targeting 3,000 daily arrests. Agents are active in 24 cities. Protests have erupted, especially in Los Angeles, where National Guard and Marines were deployed. Internal data shows under 10% of recent arrests involve serious crimes, raising concerns and growing workplace and community sweeps.